friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori. I'm from Cruising for Treasure, and you are watching my What Sold show. So I am a part-time reseller, and basically I buy low to sell high. That's the ultimate goal. I sell on 4 different platforms: eBay, Poshmark, Facebook, and Mercari, with differing success. eBay is definitely my main platform, and Poshmark is a fairly distant second, and then the other 2, they just show up whenever they jolly well feel like it, which is not very often. So anyway, if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. As you can tell, we are trying to grow our channel, and it's an arduous process. So hit the subscribe button. You'll find lots of fun content. Mainly my goal is to show how you can make this business work. What exactly is a person, a normal person who does not have access to, crazy amazing finds, what a normal person is able to consistently sell across the platforms. So we all see the highlight reels. I paid $15 for these Gucci shoes and sold them for $300. Yeah, that actually did happen to me one time. $15 Gucci shoes at Goodwill, and I sold them for $300. But that's not every day, right? That is, kind of once a year for me, at least. I don't do consignment or anything like that. I go to thrift stores, and then I do online auctions. So anyway, if any of that sounds interesting to you, if you want to figure out how in the world to make an extra buck here and there to kind of make life a little bit easier, you're at the right place. So I'm going to show you, last week I was with my husband. He had a work conference in Las Vegas. So I went with him. And while I was gone, my daughters did package up and ship out a lot of things that sold. However, I did have my listings on 2-day handling time. And so because there was a federal holiday last week, I actually have a good bit of items that I need to get shipped out. So here we go. I'm going to kind of hop back and forth between Poshmark and Facebook, eBay, because that's kind of how my daughter assembled everything. So we're going to start with a Poshmark sale. I also forgot, I always forget to mention this. Not only do I source from thrift stores and online auctions, I love to go to Sierra. I manage to make it there probably 3 to 4 times a month. And I always hit their clearance racks because they are fantastic. If you didn't know, Sierra is kind of like the sporting goods store, like TJ Maxx or Marshalls. So they get all of those athletic wear brands, outdoor brands, and then they sell them for a discounted price. So here's this, and these actually, I think that, oh no, they are from Sierra. So I paid $10, and it's, oopsies, we're inside out. It's a Nike mid-kini is what it was called. They always like to come up with these weird names so they can be unique and interesting. So it's a mesh top and then, a high-waisted bottom. And these sold for $40. They are size extra large. And I paid $10 at Sierra. So I had gotten 2 of those, and then, all right, sorry, people blowing up my phone. I'd gotten 2 of those. That's the second one to sell. It took forever, so not necessarily a bolo. Okay, these shoes are definitely a bolo. Birkenstock, we all know that. I was able to pick up from an online auction a lot of 5 different pairs of Birkenstocks, and 2 sold this weekend. So woohoo! I paid about $5 to $6 each pair. So fantastic. This sold for $31. I do have my Poshmark virtual assistant set up to send offers to likers at 30% off. And I get a lot of my sales that way. You might think, oh, that's a pretty steep discount. Well, you know what? I'm in the business to sell things. I need them out my door. So if I can, take a slightly lesser profit, but it means that cash is quicker into my pocket, I'm happy with that all day long. This next one, so this guy had made a bundle on Poshmark for 2 ties, and he actually sent an incredible offer. And I was like, oh, but then I was like, oh wait, that other tie, I'm not sure that I actually have it. And sure enough, I didn't. So I ended up canceling, declining the offer, deleting that item off of Poshmark. And then the guy sent an offer much lower for this tie, but I sold it anyway, just because that's kind of an inconvenience for him, you know, whatever. So $12. This is a MC Esker. I don't know how you pronounce that artist's name, but it's the frog print, 2 reptiles on a tie. So that's kind of cool, $12. Now this next one, this is also a Sierra pickup, and these ones were, I believe, $5, 5 or 7, and they had 2 pairs. This is now the 2nd pair I've sold, so we're out of stock. But this is Roan by Bed Stew, which Bed Stew is a really great brand. This apparently is one of their diffusion lines. You can't really see, well, let's see. Let me unzip it. Oh, it's stuck there. Oopsies. Okay, well, we're not gonna really, it's really hard to unzip it. Anyway, I don't think you can see it. Okay, look at the bottom. It's Roan, R-O-A-N by Bed Stew. Anyway, these sold for $78, size 9.5. Again, I paid either $5 or $7 at Sierra. So what they'll do is they'll get like last season's items, and then they don't want to hang on to them for another season. So they'll mark them down. Well, sandals just don't go out of style. So $78. That's pretty incredible. Okay, next from Poshmark is this purse. This is a Fossil purse. You know, it took a long time to sell. It's really not, you know, a very current style. It's cute. But anyway, it is from their Keeper line, and it's got the key fob right there. So it's, you know, it sold for $45. So here I am dissing this poor bag, and it sold for a decent amount, so it's fine. Okay, so this is a fun one. I actually sold 2 of these. If you all have followed me for very long, in May I took my daughter on a trip to Portugal. I always check out Starbucks for their mugs when I go to different countries, because you can sell them for a great profit. So I happened to get a couple of these. I will get more of these next time I go international, because wow. So this sold for $33. This is the the Starbucks Portugal. It's like you can use it for like a demi-tasse or an espresso little shot, or it's also an ornament because it does have the little cord attached to it. And I believe, I don't have my receipts, I think I paid about $12 for this. So $12 into $33. And then I actually did sell one on eBay as well. So I'm now sold out. And on eBay it sold, I did run a 35% off sale last week. And this one sold for $25.99. So pretty awesome. $25.99 and $33. So for one, I doubled my money, and the other, I more than doubled my money. So pretty great. Not sad about it. Okay, this is, last year I was able to get a ton of items for free from a hoarder house. You can check out my hoarder house playlist to see some of the hauls from that. And this, I'm still selling items from it. This is a pink skirt, just a knit, new tags, and it sold for $15. So some of the items from that haul sold for a ton of money, and then others, you know, not as much, but regardless, overall, they were all free. So making a good profit. Okay, this is a new tags LL Bean toiletry bag. LL Bean is just, anytime I see anything new tags from LL Bean, I buy it, because it's going to sell and you're going to get a profit. It might not be a massive profit, but you're going to get a profit. So this was $20. Obviously, I'm not going to spend $10 on it, but if it's at Goodwill for $4 like this was, then I'm going to get it and I'm going to sell it. $20. And I mean, honestly, if you've ever used LL Bean products yourself, you know that they really have superior quality. There's just no one that can match them. Okay, now on to eBay sales. This is not a comprehensive list of everything that sold last week while I was gone, but it's a little bit of a good representation. So here we go. These are Teva Sandals, the wedge foam, they sold for $12. Now, remember, I did have a 35% off sale. I turned off my best offer during that time just because something about sales brings out the low ballers. It's ridiculous. It annoys me, so I turn off my best offers. And then, but what I'll do is if they put it in their watch list, then I'll go ahead and send an offer for another couple dollars off. If it's an item that I've had around for a while, then I'll give it an even better discount. But typically speaking, it's, just a couple dollars off. And sometimes that triggers a sale. Sometimes it doesn't. In that case, it did. And in the case of these pants, also it did. These are vintage Polo Ralph Lauren sweatpants. They have the yellow pony stitched right there. Just incredible quality. These sold for $28. These are in really great shape. Let me tell you, really great shape. And speaking of quality, Polo Ralph Lauren, I don't know so much these days, like current modern stuff, but the vintage stuff, some of it is just incredible quality. Okay, we sold a Christmas ornament in June. This is Carlton Cards. It's a holiday treat. So it's a little bear, I guess, drinking hot chocolate. And this sold for $8.12. That was part of my 35% off sale. Next, we have a new in-package pair of Levi's. And these are size 38-30, 550 relaxed. So they're not necessarily a vintage, obviously, pair of jeans. But they sold for $23.72. I believe I got these from an online auction. And so I probably, you know what? Let's just look those up. Let's see how much I paid for them. They have been listed for just over a year. I paid $4 for those jeans, and I did get them from an online auction. And this was the second or third pair to sell. So, pretty great. I love it. Okay, next we have this Heartland book series, a lot of 6 books. Now, this could have sold for significantly more. Well, for 35% more. But when I set a sale going lately, I just set my whole store going. Sometimes I'll exclude a couple items, especially if it's a deeper discount. But for the most part, it's all on sale. So, and it's fine. This sold for $15.93, but these are definitely, if you find like 4 or 5 numbers at Goodwill for 50 cents each, go ahead and pick it up because you're going to make money. Like I said, I probably had this priced at $24, $25, $26. So you're going to make money. I have, every time I find, between 6 and 7 books of that series, Heartland, I go ahead and list it and they sell. So there you go. Or if you're at yard sales this summer, and you see a bunch of them, absolutely pick them up because typically you get really good prices at yard sales. Okay, this is a New Attacks New Identity skirt. This sold for $17.88. It's so cute. It's got like the gold embossed print there up top, but then it's also beaded. It's got the crinkle, the broomstick stuff going on. So really adorable. $17.88. Let's see, and I already showed you the Starbucks mug. Okay, next. Now this is a really fun one. Again, this sold for 35% off, so keep that in mind. However, this is 1847 Rogers Brothers silver plate daffodil flatware service. So, and this is for service for 8. There's a total of 60 pieces. This sold for $129.99. So plus shipping. Everything is plus shipping. I don't give free shipping on my store. And the reason for that is I live in Virginia. So I have a lot of buyers from, let's say, the West Coast. So California, Washington, Oregon. And the cost difference between shipping to someone in Pennsylvania versus someone in California, for me in Virginia, is ridiculous. It could be it's crazy. It could be double the cost. So I can't do free shipping. I can't do calculated shipping. So, I mean, flat rate shipping. So because inevitably I will lose out on the most expensive item shipped in my store. So I do calculated shipping, and honestly, I don't feel like it really hurts my sales at all. So anyway, I looked up what my cost for this flatware was, $8. And I sold it for $129.99. And it's only been listed since April. And again, those came from an online auction. So I do have specific items that I like to keep my eye out for when I'm bidding, and flatware is one of them, because not a lot of people are interested in them usually on the online auction. Sometimes if it's like a famous brand and, you know, whatever. But generally speaking, I'm able to get a really great deal on flatware, and then I can sell it for a really great profit. Case in point, $8 into $130. I'll do that all day long, every day. Okay, so if you watch my channel much at all, you know that I love to sell vintage postcards. Here is one that sold 35% off. This is sold for $5.84. Most of the postcards that I'm selling these days have come to me free. So just keep that in mind. But this one sold full price. This is Amish quilting in Lancaster. There's a girl sewing on there. This sold for $4.99, and it is unposted. Actually, all these were unposted. And then this is Detroit, Michigan, Ethnic Center, Hart Plaza aerial view. That sold full price also for $4.99. So pretty great. I love selling vintage postcards. If you can ever find them for a good deal, dive right in. It's really fun and super cheap. I mean, super good ROI, super fast to list, photograph, ship, all the things. Okay, moving on. This one, oh, these sold via promoted listings, which I don't do promoted listings anymore. I did for a while there. I was, you know, doing it, and so some items do still sell from that, but I just never saw an appreciable difference in sales. So these sold. These are Skechers. They got a little wedge there, and they sold for $19.99. If you didn't know, Skechers actually can sell. You do have to be careful about the style, you know, all of that, of course. Don't pay a ton of money, but you can sell Skechers for a decent amount. So $19.99 for those shoes. Okay, here is the other pair of Birkenstocks, and these sold full price, $49.99. And they're just a really pretty, they kind of photographed pink, but they are red. So I did put that in the listing. The color shows pink, they are red, I promise. So hopefully the buyer read that, or I will be getting a return. Okay, another item that sold is Spanx. I always pick up Spanx because they always sell. And you're not gonna get the same ROI on everything else. You know, it's not gonna be massive. Because their stores typically price them anywhere between $2 and $4 around me. So, for example, this sold for $18.99 full price. So, obviously, you know, don't go spending $10 on this. You're not going to really make a good profit. But if you can pick it up at Goodwill for $2, $3, $4, $18.99, it's going to sell. It just will. It always will. Okay, next I have this Eileen West nightgown. Now, even with all the flaws, which I did make note of in the listing, like, you know, the eyelet lace, it's just kind of, you know, disintegrating a little bit. It's faded. But even with all those flaws, it did still sell for $24.50. So definitely keep your eye out for this brand, Eileen West. And also, isn't this just so dreamy and romantic? It's so cute. I love it. And what a great little summer nightgown. $24.50. So that, I think, is all I have to show for you today, which I'm super happy with this weekend's sales, and we are ready to hit the ground running now that we're back. I'm back for a week, 2 weeks, and then I go again. So we're gonna make the most of it, listing new items, deleting the garbage. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really do appreciate every single one of you. Make sure that you leave a comment below. What was your favorite item that sold? And what were you surprised by? I'll be sure to respond. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will see you next time. Bye.